Hi, everybody. Today I want to just briefly address how to be successful in Hume 202. A few people have asked me, how do I get an A? And if you remember back to the beginning of the course, this course was built on the system of choice. And that was meant to model after choices that exist in life. That could be the systems of biology, the physics, the psychological, the emotional, spiritual, but systems in general, right? So this course is designed as a system, and systems have a lot in common with games. But I recognize that as we've continued through this course and made some changes because of certain circumstances, some people have become more nervous about how to be successful. So I want to go through a few of your options and ways to make sure that you are doing okay in the class. Okay, so remember, number one is it's all about points, right? The system is designed based on a point grid. And the idea is the more points you amass, the better you're doing in the course. Your goal, if you're looking for an A, is to reach 500 AP. Now, that's a very strict line, so 499 doesn't cut it. You have to get 500 in order to get an A in the class. 350 is the threshold for B, and 250 is the threshold for a C in the course. Anything below that is going to end you up in the D range, right? So, and then below 100 points is going to fail you the class, right? So you want to make sure that you're striving for at least 250 between 500, right? And so that's your target. Okay, so with that said, there are lots of ways to achieve points in this class. So what I've done is I've come up with 6 different pathways. They're kind of different ways of approaching the class model. And you should choose the pathway that is most appropriate for you. And there's really a 7th pathway, which is a combination of any of these. These are just some. There are, quite literally hundreds of different ways to amass points in the class. There are more than 625 points available in the course, meaning you only need 500 of those 625 in order to achieve the A. All right. So, pathway 1 assumes that you are kind of following the exact same path that we started when we first started the class, face to face, and that really nothing's changed. So that means that you're completing 5 achievements before the end of the course. You got all your participation points for the in-class work. You did okay on the raid. You completed the Nova Prime mission, and that you're doing the weekly challenges, and you're set up for the final project and the final achievement. And it also assumes that you're not really engaged in the bonus AP or any other ways to get bonus points. So it's just kind of like the standard path, okay? And that's the path to 500. Now, if you didn't do the Nova Prime mission, or you're not doing the weekly challenges online, right? Or you didn't finish achievements, or you didn't do well in the weeks 1 through 8, that's okay. There are other paths, right? And so each of these other paths are going to assume that you're not doing 1 or 2 of the kinds of assignments that are out there, and that still will lead you to 500 though, right? So in pathway 2, you're doing everything except for the weekly challenges, right? So I'm sending out these weekly challenges. Those will happen weeks 11 through 14, and they're worth 10 points each. Let's say you're just not doing them. They're all designed in Google Forms. They're kind of like these quests or scavenger hunts, and maybe that's just not your cup of tea. Okay, and then you're also not doing bonus AP, right? So you're not looking for Easter eggs. You're not looking for puzzles or solving the ciphers. Okay, well then in order to earn 500 points, make sure you have your achievements. This time you want to do 6 achievements, right? So not 5, but 6. So that means 2 achievements per mission. You're doing your in-class participation before we went on quarantine. You did all right during the raid. You completed the Nova Prime, and you're set up for the final project and the final achievement. This one also assumes that you might go back and do achievement parts. Okay, so in every achievement, there are subsections, right? It's usually 3. There's usually 3 things you need to do to complete the achievement. You are able to go into any achievement and just do some of them, and I'll still give you points. Or you can go into an achievement that you've already completed and do additional subparts. Now, what you can't do is repeat the same thing, right? So for instance, if you were doing the collections achievement and you did a video of one of your collections, you couldn't do another collection in order to get those points. You have to do a different part of that achievement, and that would still give you some points. You can go in and do pieces of achievements to boost up your grade, all right? Then another pathway assumes that you didn't do well on the raid. Maybe your team got no points or got negative points, and you're not doing additional achievement parts. that's okay. So then what you should be working on is following along with all the stuff that we're doing in class, outside and inside. You complete the Nova Prime, and make sure you do well on finding some bonus points, either on the ciphers or the puzzles. Another way to approach this is to not do the weekly things that I'm sending out and not doing achievement parts, but doing everything else, doing 6 achievements and looking for bonus AP. Maybe you didn't do the Nova Prime assignment from week 10, and you're not looking for achievement parts. That's fine. Do 6 achievements, do all the weekly challenges, and look for some bonus AP. Maybe you didn't do the weekly challenges and you're not interested in doing the additional achievement parts, but you did extra achievements and you did achievement parts. That will help too. Okay, so a lot of different ways to approach this. In general, there are 9 ways to earn points. Achievements are those badges. The in-class participation that we had weeks 1 through 8, the week 5 quiz game or the point stealing game that we called the raid, the Nova Prime mission that was put out during week 10, the week of challenges I'm putting out from weeks 11 through 14. So each week I'm sending out kind of like a Google Quest. And then I haven't talked to you about these yet, but I will. The final project and the final achievement points. Those are worth actually a lot. That's worth like 200 AP. So it's backloaded on purpose. We were originally going to do all of that work in class, and I've modified it so it's a creative project that you present through a video, and that you can also do that final achievement, which looks very similar to the Nova Prime one. That was the Nova Prime was kind of set you up for getting ready for the final achievement. And then there are plenty of bonus points still going out there. I'm sending out ciphers. As always, you can look for Easter eggs embedded in any of the ciphers or the puzzles, and you can always do those. Our Discord is live, so please go ahead and use that to help out. And then lastly, there's always doing those pieces of an achievement without completing the whole thing, and that'll get you some bonus AP as well. All right, so like I said, all together, you're looking at over 625 points, and probably even more than that, because I always throw out bonus AP here and there, and there's plenty of Easter eggs to find, right? So bare minimum, you're looking at least 625 possible points, and then you really only need to do 500 of those in order to get a good grade in the class, right, and to get that A. All right. Now remember, if you don't do some of these things, that's totally okay, because that's just to make sure you hit the A. You've got the options of hitting a B or a C. And I keep saying this, you choose the grade you want in this class, right? So the amount of work you do is how you're going to be successful in the course. All right, I hope that addresses a lot of the questions. If not, as always, feel free to put some comments in the video or send me an email, and good luck on your missions.